Hi there and welcome back to Iceberg Point. It's Stina and I'm so excited to bring you out to a different part of the island. I know in a previous video we've explored kind of the more easterly edge of Iceberg Point. We're now more on the western side, and I'm looking at this hillside and remembering that as a kid I used to be able to walk straight down what used to be a nice low slope. Now it's kind of more cliff-like and you can really see the erosion and those different bands of sediment. Kind of cool to see, but how this place has changed over the years. I instead took the little trail that's over to this side, but yeah, we are here closer to the point of Iceberg Point. You can probably see that day marker off in the distance, that nice big orange sign with the number 2. That is kind of the true point of Iceberg Point here. There's some folks out taking walks, some people out kayaking. It is a beautiful day and I'm stoked to take you on a little bit of a low-ish tide exploration. And so we're starting kind of on this rocky substrate. It's really rugged but gorgeous, and I love how you can see there are some high pools of water. I don't know that I'd necessarily call them tide pools because they're so high up. They're more like probably have captured the rain, although they might get some splashes of salt water on occasion. We're of course out here in the San Juan Islands, part of the Straits of Juan de Fuca, which is part of the Greater Salish Sea. There's a big sun glare there, but I'm pretty sure that we have mosquito larvae in this pool. So that gives me a clue that this is more likely a freshwater pool rather than maybe some of the salt water we'll see as we get closer to those crashing waves. Okay, maybe they're not crashing, but you know. So let's move a little bit further down. Of course, if you're watching this, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from, so feel free to mention in the comments where you're watching from and what the weather's like today. I know we're filming this in August with the thought that we'll premiere it a little bit later in the fall, probably when it's rainy and cold, and we're wishing for this nice 70 degree sunshine. Yeah, so add that to the comments, and of course any questions, we're happy to answer those. Here's a more salty tide pool. Noticing some either dead crab or hopefully what is more likely a crab molt. There's also some little amphipods swimming around. Snails are out wiggling and wobbling. Some planes are flying by. Nice big float plane. Kind of loud. Yeah, it is a hustling, bustling little spot here. I would guess that this tide pool gets an occasional splash of fresh water just based on the abundance of life. I'm noticing mussels, coralline algae, all these periwinkles. The checkered periwinkles get their name from kind of the checkered pattern on their shell. I'm gonna see if I can reach, actually we'll just zoom in and focus. So yeah, that little checkered pattern isn't always there, but that's at least, if you start seeing a couple with that pattern, that's a pretty good clue that probably all these snails in here are indeed that checkered periwinkle, which is fun to see. I'm also just loving, there's all these amphipods that are like swimming around. That one has a very cool pattern. It's a little bigger. But yeah, this is again a good spot to just stop and wonder. Take some time to notice all the cool things happening. Ask some questions about what you're seeing. We might not always have the answers, but we usually have a good idea of a source where we can look to help you solve your mysteries. But I'm looking out at the water. I'm seeing all this beautiful bull kelp. It is an annual species, so I'm noticing it's pretty scuzzy right now. Has a lot of, looks like ulva growing on it, kind of that epiphytic algae, which at this point is probably blocking that bull kelp's ability to really effectively photosynthesize, because like a plant, they use energy from the sun to create energy, but that's about all the similarities there. It is indeed a brown algae, or a kelp. Kind of its own classification of life. So we're gonna, I wish we could like dive in and explore all the cool things living in the bull kelp, but even though it's a nice hot day in August, that water is still pretty cold, so not planning on swimming, at least right now. I'm also really impressed with Rachel. Usually she's the person behind the camera, and I don't know how she navigates these treacherous environments and films and talks, but we're giving it a go here today. So we can see a little bit lower, we have some more tide pools. Yay, shadow highs. And this has an animal, which gives me a really good clue that we're definitely in a heavy wave environment. You might be noticing these lovely gooseneck barnacles. I want to see if they're kind of shorties, but they have what's kind of like a leathery texture to their neck. Feels pretty cool. You can see they kind of move around in response to my touch. I love just the unique geometric patterns here. They're very artistic. There's some limpets living on top of them. But yeah, these are barnacles that really like high surf areas. Of course, I see lots of other species of barnacles as well. So like the acorn barnacles here. These kind of medium-sized thatch barnacles. Kind of looking for some other species just for fun. Usually there's like a haystack barnacle. We'll keep an eye out for them. But yeah, lots of barnacle species all have the same cool adaptation where they eat with their feet. Oops, sorry, we kind of losing focus here. There we go. But those barnacles, again, are crustaceans. So kind of funny to think that they're related to something like a crab, but they're stuck to a rock. They're not mobile like a crab. I'm also seeing, oh my goodness, just all sorts of these lovely aggregating anemones. There's kind of this nice big one. Give that a gentle touch. Sorry, lose the focus again. The street's a little. There we go. I don't know if that's better, but we're trying here. But yeah, these little anemones, of course, are amazing in that they rip themselves in half to reproduce. So if I see them clustered together like this, I assume they're probably all the same, of the same individual. So they'd be genetically identical. Obviously a little bit different. Maybe. Anyways, words are hard, but yeah, they're clones of each other, and they're all hanging out in the same little pool. This one is nice because you can see its little feeding tentacles. Looks like it has even the like molted shed of one of these gooseneck barnacles. Let's see if I can get that in focus for you. It's kind of fun to see. So these are those feeding branches, and just like a crab molts, so do barnacles. And so these, this is like that outer exoskeleton of the feet that the barnacle periodically sheds, and yeah, cool to see that. Oh, we had a little low battery signal, so hopefully our feed didn't cut out too much. But anyways, before my camera dies, we're gonna pop down just a little bit closer to the water before we wrap up, because there might be some new things from this lovely bull kelp. You can look down into the water and see that surf grass. the water crashing up. Again, just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. More of those gooseneck barnacles. Lots more anemones. Starting to see more of this green algae as we get closer to the water's edge. This filamentous red is also pretty cool. And then I'm also seeing just a lot more of these big mussels. Smaller mussels up above. It's nice big ones up here or down here. So life is just abounding here in the intertidal zone. We can kind of look, just noticing, looking across, you really see that vertical zonation. So where there's the rock up above, and then you get that white band of barnacles leading down to the different layers of seaweed, from the brown rockweed to the green sea lettuce, and then of course into the water we get all this lovely bull kelp. And my goodness, it is just so fun to learn and explore and teach y'all about these things. And so hopefully, I don't know, if you ever get a chance to come out to Lopez Island, definitely hope you can explore Iceberg Point. But for now, we're super excited that we get to bring it to you virtually. If you enjoyed this video, of course, you're more than welcome to share it. If you're not already, subscribe to all our social media platforms. That's a really free, easy way to support Harbor Wild Watch. You can subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can even check out our TikTok, assuming all is well there. So yeah, we have all sorts of ways that we like to provide educational opportunities. And so we'd love for you to engage, ask us questions, all that good stuff. And of course, if you want to support Harbor Wild Watch financially, we love your donations too. So you can safely and securely donate on our website, as well as probably through Facebook, if we have that link up and going for you. But again, just thanks so much for joining me out on Iceberg Point on Lopez Island, and I'm gonna leave you with a shadow wave. So thanks for tuning in. Learn, have fun.